28 Years Later is a movie that isn't 28 years in the making, but it is the sequel to 28 Weeks Later and 28 Days Later. So, is the movie good? Is the movie bad? Let's find out in the good, the bad, and the ugly of 28 Years Later. So to kick it off, the movie, it starts off with a bit of a cold open that's similar to that of 28 Weeks Later. It's very thrilling, it's terrifying, it sets the film up for a terrifying finish to the whole film here, and yet it is the most terrifying part of the film at points. The opening is a bit of a disappointment. It kind of feels like an executive handed them a note and said, hey, make it more like the first two movies here. So that's a point that gets kind of taken off about 28 Years Later. It feels a bit derivative. It feels like, hey, we're doing this because we need to, not because we want to. But the rest of it, the film follows Spike, who's played by Alfie Williams. He's a 12-year-old that lives in an island that is a part of the UK mainland that is under quarantine zone. His father, Jamie, is played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and his mother, Isla, is played by Jodie Comer, who is sick, bedridden. People don't know what's wrong with her. There are no doctors anymore. Basically, everyone that lives on this island, it's a rite of passage to travel out into the mainland, and so it is Spike's day of passage to go with his father out to the mainland. He goes out, they hunt for some of the zombies, the infected, whatever the hell you want to call them, and they end up having to stay the night longer than they would because they get trapped by a gang of these infected, led by an alpha, which are these hulking, massive figures that basically the rage virus has given them steroids. They're huge, they're massive, they're powerful, they're scary. And over the course of the night, Spike sees a fire off in the distance and goes, hey, Dad, what's that fire over there? And his dad basically tells him, hey, don't worry about that. It's just... And he's like, is it another settlement? Don't worry about that. Is it people? Don't worry about that. Eventually, Spike learns that it's a doctor and that he wants to go take his mom to go see this doctor because there are no doctors. It's Dr. Kelson, who's played by Ralph Fiennes. And that's the whole story that I'm going to tell you of 28 Years Later. To get the rest of it, you have to go see the movie. But that's the setup here. It's basically a road movie of Spike taking his mother to go see this doctor and find out what the hell is wrong with her. And then the rest of the community at home has to worry about where basically all of them are. So we'll start off here with the good of the film. The good is that it is definitely a sequel to 28 Weeks and 28 Days Later. It feels very much like that. The creative team of Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are back for this film, but it doesn't really focus on that doomsday aspect of it. That was what I was not looking forward to. I personally, as a critic, as a moviegoer, as a movie watcher, I am sick to death of these doomsday, apocalyptic, dreary, all of that kind of stuff films. And this wasn't actually that. It just tells the story of it so you can sort of be reminded that this did happen, but it goes more into the aftermath, how does society follow up on this huge apocalyptic event, and there are actually two answers to that in the film itself. There's lots of thrilling zombie chases, zombie action, whatever you want to call them. The film doesn't outwardly say the word zombie, but they're zombies. Between you and me, they're zombies. It allows the audience to breathe, though, too. It's not just like a one long chase scene, one long sort of heart attack. You can breathe, and you get to just sort of take in this whole landscape, and the landscapes in the film are beautiful. They are stunning. This movie is apparently shot on iPhone, a heavily modified iPhone, but still shot on iPhone, and it looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. It's just... it's so pretty to look at. The animals, the zombies even, the makeup effects of the zombies are terrifying. They're ugly, they're gross, but they look great. The whole film looks great. There's tons of gore. There's people getting their spines ripped out, zombies eating people. And so that, for the gore hounds out there, for the horror hounds that are going into this film looking for something that's going to scare the crap out of them, it might not do that the entire time, but when it does, it does. So you can go into it looking forward to that, looking forward to the gore effects and all of that in this film. Now for the bad. The movie itself feels like 3 to 4 different movies over the course of it. It feels like an uneven season of TV where the first episode is really great. They tell this great story. They get you hooked in. Then the second episode, it loses steam a little bit. And then the third episode, you're like, why are the characters making these dumb decisions? And then by the time it comes back around, the fourth episode, which is really the final 3 minutes of the film, gets you hooked back again and goes, maybe I'll sign up again. I'll sign up for a season 2 of this. I'll sign up for a sequel. So it feels uneven. It feels unevenly paced. The editing is jarring. It feels like if it was shot on iPhone, well, it feels like it was edited on an iPhone too. That is really apparent in the first in the first section of the film, really, where there's these editing, like, it's super choppy and it's weird and it's kind of jarring. And I know it's supposed to show off that Isla's mental state or whatever is not all there, but it ends up coming off as like amateur looking instead of like something where you're like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. And it just kind of takes you out of the experience almost. The biggest personal gripe I have here, and this is a very personal gripe, this is not a sort of critical thing, but with zombie movies, good gosh. If you're gonna have a zombie movie, the movie really should not be about how the zombies are the evil, scary monsters. We, humans, are the evil, scary monsters here. The zombies are a means to an end. They're like cattle, whatever. They're cattle that eat your brains. Here, you get these sort of, it's like with the last couple of Romero zombie movies, I don't really give a crap about the zombies being intelligent and being able to talk and having their social hierarchy. That kind of stuff is not interesting to me, and you get some of that in this film, and it's kind of disappointing because it just takes away from the overall narrative. You're here about the human characters, not about the zombies, and so learning, oh, they have babies and they do these ritualistic things. I don't care. That just completely doesn't do it for me. So that's the last thing of the bad that I have to say about 28 years later. And now for the ugly. I am not the type of critic, if you've watched any of my reviews or read any of my reviews, that's going to bring up a lot of logical questions. I have a screenwriting degree. I know what it takes to write a movie, to get, what you need to do in a movie. Characters need to make decisions that you don't agree with, that are dumb, to get the movie to sort of move along. The inciting incident of a lot of movies is something of a character making the wrong decision. And there is a difference there between the wrong decision and a dumb decision, because a lot of the characters in 28 Years Later, they make these logical decisions that are just so outwardly dumb and wrong that it happens over and over and over again. Like, you can fit a couple of those in to get across, like, oh, this character's reckless or whatever. But here, it's just the characters are so stupid and going against everything that you've learned from these movies, where, like, oh, if there's a zombie making a bunch of noise on a train, you don't walk towards it without a weapon and all of that. It's just mind-numbingly stupid at points in this movie where they go into it and the characters keep making these decisions. And it's at a certain point you just have to go, like, I don't normally, emote that much when I'm sitting in a press screening, but if a movie makes me go, what the hell are you doing, in my head, and throw my arms up in the air, there's a problem there. And also, the other logical decisions here, the community where Spike and Jamie and Isla live, the watchman must be just the worst watchman on the face of the earth, because he doesn't see someone coming up the big causeway, the big pathway that's comes down in low tide and goes away in high tide. Doesn't see somebody coming up from like a mile away. That's their job as the watchman. That also adds to those logical inconsistencies, those logical, just sort of dumb decisions that characters make here. But the other thing that I just thought of as I was recording this was, they don't show the reaction of the community to Spike and Isla being gone. Like, they don't show really Jamie's reaction up until a certain point in the film, but there's nothing, it doesn't cut back to them as they're on this road to finding this doctor. And so through it all here, 28 years later, it's a mixed movie. I hate the term mixed bag because it's so stupid and overused, but it really is a mixed movie. There are points where it's really great. The first section of the film, the last 3 minutes of the film, I really loved. But then there are other sections where logic kind of goes out the window. It kind of becomes this melodramatic thing. There are some great performances here. Alfie Williams as the star, fantastic as Spike. Ray Fiennes, super good as Dr. Kelson. But it really just feels like this movie should have been something different instead of these 4 different movies rammed together into this one. There is a sequel coming out 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I'm sure that they're going to focus group that title to hell, but the last 3 minutes of this film kind of made me a little more excited for that than the, first hour and 50 minutes of this film. So 28 years later comes out in theaters on June 20th. Comes out in theaters. Go check it out if you want to see some zombie action. You might like it more than I did. It's not a terrible movie by any means, but it is a bit of a mixed movie. So go check it out in theaters, and you can tell me what you think of the movie in the comments below. Tell me what you like about this movie, and if you like this video and you want to see more of my reviews that are like this, I've done tons of them on YouTube now, you can check out this playlist right here, and you'll get all of my reviews all in one place.